Tribute to Conway Twitty featuring Bobby Simpkins is this Saturday, July 27th at 7 p.m. at the Watch Your Opera House. Bobby Simpkins is an award-winning tribute artist who has performed all over the country, including Nashville. Bobby now lives in Kansas City and is coming to Watch Your this Saturday night at 7 p.m. If you like classic country music, this night is for you. A tribute to Conway Twitty featuring Bobby Simpkins this Saturday, July 27th, 7 p.m. at the Watch Your Opera House. Tickets are $30 and can be purchased at watchyyouroperahouse.org or at the door. The Union Mills Community Closet presents Christmas in July fundraiser dinner, July 27th, starting at 5 p.m. at Bradbury Hall, Nelson Pioneer Farm, Oskaloosa, serving a catered dinner of chicken cordon bleu or savory sliced beef. Call 641-200-1940 or look for Union Mills Community Closet on Facebook to purchase your tickets. Tickets are $30 or $240 to reserve an entire table. All proceeds directly benefit Union Mills Community Christmas Toy Drive. It's the Christmas in July fundraiser dinner, July 27th at Bradbury Hall, Nelson Pioneer Farm. The Delta Fireman's Ball is Saturday, July 27th. You can enjoy food, live music, games, and more. There will be a poker run from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Keith Davis will be playing music from 6 to 9 p.m. For more information on the Delta Fireman's Ball, contact Jim or Fake Harry at 319-212-8772. The Delta Fireman's Ball is coming up Saturday, July 27th. Don't miss it. And a good evening. Welcome into Tuesday Night Tune-Up TNT. We are live, as always, from Smoky Row in downtown Oskaloosa on a beautiful summer evening. And, of course, we have Safe Grafke and a guest hanging out with us this evening. Safe, take it away.
Hey, welcome back, race fans, to TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up. And little different tonight. Normally, we have a guest that comes on for an interview. And, normally we either do or don't have Curtis. Tonight, we're just changing it up again. We like doing that here. We've never really done the show the same every single time, if you haven't noticed that by now. So welcome if you are new, and welcome if you like this kind of way that we do things here. So thank you all for joining us again. We have again with us tonight, he's been on here once. He is your current points leader at the Southern Iowa Speedway in the sport modified class, Kyle Harwood. Kyle, thanks for joining us.
Well, I'm glad to do it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So currently, Kyle, you have a 7-point lead over Colton Lizzie and then the rest of the field at the Southern Iowa Speedway in points for the Oskaloosa Quality Rental Sport Mod class. How does that make you feel being the point leader going in tomorrow night?
Yeah, as car owner and driver, that's kind of what you work for,
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Starting the program last year and where we started with a new chassis and engine and just constantly tuning, we've gained pace and speed. I feel like through the whole year we picked up a win and been running top 3, usually top 4. So
yeah.
As long as I keep that going, I think we'll be okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have one night tomorrow night. Unfortunately, tomorrow night is our season finale at the Southern Iowa Speedway. So we have some great points leaders right now. Nathan Moody in the 41 car leading in your dirt and asphalt sport compact class. Again, Kyle is leading in our Oskaloosa Quality Rentals. AJ Johnson in the Clow Valve non-wing class. He's your points leader by 27 points.
Did he win again last week?
He did win again last week.
So he's won every feature.
He's won every feature.
So that's got to be some sort of season points record then.
Yeah, Jonathan Hughes has done it too.
Okay, well.
So AJ looking to hit perfection tomorrow night, and then Dustin Griffiths is leading in both the Mid-State Machine stock car class and in the Parker Tree Service hobby stock class. A lot of great competition, though. I mean, everyone's been trying to beat Dustin this year. Last week was our fair race, and again, probably arguably the biggest race of the year for everyone. It's the Caleb Hammond Memorial. It seems like everyone really puts on their war paint for that one, I would say, and
kind of literally too.
War was definitely waged last week in one class for sure, and that led to some questionable decisions and a lot of controversy, I would say, to say the least. And last night I got to talk to you a little bit, Kyle. They came out with some new rules about alcohol and minors in the pits and only having one crew person. And I've talked to some people, and the first person I talked to that this brought up a really good point is I talked to Cole Vanderwall, Curtis's son.
Okay.
So Cole is the one that helps Curtis on the car and is there with him every week and is his crew person in the tech area.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Cole, he is still a minor. So with the new rule in place that minors aren't allowed in the tech area, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they'll make an exception for that because he's like kind of right. I mean, he's not causing any issues. He's there with his dad. He's his dad only I would assume that there will be something there, but talking to him, he's like, it's just kind of awkward because what if they don't?
Having rules and enforcing rules are two different things.
Yeah.
Like for years, it's always been you can have a driver and you can have a crew member in tech. That's been the rules. But lately, there could be 4 or 5 people for each car. Now, I appreciate the tech at Oski because that's one of the toughest techs that you could go to. But if we're going to tear all the stuff apart that we tear apart all the time, it's nice having 2 or 3 people doing that.
And real quick, before we go further, I just want to emphasize this. We're not trying to bash the track. We're not. No. We just want to lead off of that too. We're not here to badmouth, and we're not going to talk down the Southern Iowa Speedway anyway. So if you're thinking that that's what we're doing, we're not. We're just talking through. Man. Yeah, we're just talking through some situations that have arose and how to help with some things, and just give it from a owner, driver, and just a kind of a driver point of view. So do not take this out of context that we are sitting here bashing the Southern Iowa Speedway, because that is not at all. This happens at a lot of tracks.
Oh yeah.
There's this. So this is more of just a open discussion that we're going to let Kyle continue on what it's like being an owner and in these tech areas, how they get torn down so much that really sometimes you need more than one person there, and especially if you're a guy that's doing like double duty.
Sure.
Where you
got
a
couple of those now too. Sometimes,
right? You have Dustin and McGuire, Andrew. Yeah, I mean Red sometimes, and some other guys. So, why don't you get back to your
because I support the Southern Iowa Speedway more than anybody. We try to make it every race. So, and I know a lot of the people that volunteer, and they are all volunteers. They're not. That's not their full-time job, right? So people are there volunteering their time. They try to do their best. And they got kind of caught in an unfortunate circumstance there where things were happening. I didn't get to see it. We were trying to get our car ready, but
it was a very unfortunate situation to say the least. We're not necessarily going to deep context because it's already. I think it's been pretty.
Yeah, I don't have social media, but I heard that
it's been pretty saturated, and it was kind of one of those deals too where if you weren't there and you don't know what happened, it's kind of hard to really dissect what happened and talk about. But we just had there was kind of a skirmish, and one thing leads to another, these new rules. But we're talking about is it's so hard to follow some of those rules because you do have crew guys where their kid is a minor still, 16 or whatever. And again, I'm assuming
so
that.
What is the new rule? You said there was a new rule with minors and alcohol. I must have missed. I saw the email about the crew people and whatnot, but maybe
not alcohol. I can't remember. I thought I saw something on.
I saw
drinking in the pits.
Yeah, you couldn't. I didn't see. Okay, so like the drinking is new to me because when we first started racing, there was no alcohol, period, until the last checkered flag flew. Then it was kind of whatever.
Right.
So at Oskaloosa, you can have alcohol in the pits, and it's prevalent. You can see it there. Now, if you go to other tracks, there's always alcohol there. Now, some tracks, they mandated that it stays in your trailer. So if you have alcohol there, you can drink it in your trailer. But if it leaves the trailer, they have people that are walking around policing it. You go back. Now, if you consume a lot in your trailer, you're still taking it with you, and like rowdy things can happen, but it's not open container everywhere.
Right.
Now, back to like we were talking through the tech thing. Passing tech at Oskaloosa, I think that's something that should draw people to the Southern Iowa Speedway, because one thing that a lot of people worry about racing at that track is it's not IMCA sanctioned. So people are wondering, well, if I show up with my IMCA car, are these guys running half illegal?
Absolutely not.
So I can tell you, if you're running an IMCA car, you bring it there, it better be legal, because they're gonna check you. Like I still have a burn on my arm from taking the spark plugs out to do the stroke test and everything else, right?
Yeah, so, Brandon does a very good job, and he is an IMCA guy.
So,
he comes from Webster City every week.
Right. Yep.
So
he texts USRA stuff too,
and that too. So I mean, it's not like we just found this guy on the side of the road and said, "Hey, how to check a race car?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then he's there. He's dedicated. He comes from Webster City, which is a very long drive.
Right.
And it makes a long night for him, but he happily does it. He comes every week and does arguably some of the best teching that.
It's thorough.
I mean, it's very thorough. I mean, he goes by the book. He's got calculators. He's got all the tools. I mean, he is very good at what he does. So I think that's part of the luck of Oskaloosa is we're lucky to have a great tech guy, because you go to some tracks where, I've seen it where it's like, they'll just kind of like look at it and they're like, that looks fine, whatever.
Yeah, they're asking you the rules.
They're like, do you know what the deck height rule is?
Yeah,
and they're
what's
like,
that?
it's like 8 inches or whatever. Oh, yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Well, and they run such a fast program too. Because what I was going to get at is my dad always helps me, and then we usually have one or two other crew guys, either Nathan or Brandon, or somebody will be there. But like some of those nights, we're taking the distributor apart, we're taking spark plugs out, you're burning yourself, it's hot. Like it is really handy to have a couple people to help tear some of that apart. Like you're taking suspension parts off, you're doing that. So if they're really going to be strict about, it's just driver, crew person, then hopefully they're cognizant that it might take a little bit longer too, because we run in between the stock cars and the hobby stocks, trying to because you have to get everything tech out of there by the time the hobby stocks get done. So
and that doesn't always. I mean, even when you have more than one crew guy, that sometimes does not happen.
Right. Like the heat race, they're usually checking one thing or two quick things.
Yeah,
tape measure will come out, measure hoods, whatever. Make sure your RPM's correct, or they'll measure whatever, and that usually goes pretty quick, and you're off and out of there. But by the time the feature rolls around, the car is extra hot. It's extra dark, for one. You're laying on grass, and it's just, there's more work to be done. So anyway, I guess we'll have to see. Now, what the problem they're trying to prevent, knowing racers, that same problem could happen whether you have 2 people in there or 15, I'm thinking. But we'll just see. Hopefully it's the season championship. Hopefully everything goes without problem, and it'll be good racing, because that was a great crowd last week and a great car count. The track was super fun to race on. It was really slick. I thought the racing was good. I kind of wore out my tires before the end of the race, and we lost a couple spots, but we still ran top 5. I was happy with that. But hopefully the track's in good shape, and it'll be a good race tomorrow.
Yeah, and I got to run at the Southern Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, I want to hear about this, because I see you rocking around in this Razor, so I can hardly imagine what's going to happen here.
Yeah, so
we put like a screen up with like a.
It's okay. We don't need to show the photos. We don't need all that. No,
roll the footage.
Yeah, break out the camera. Steve's like, oh no.
That would bring the ratings, that's for sure.
It probably would. Yeah, no, I got lucky. So, the Redneck Rally is something that our friend Chris Miniga puts on, and he does it 3 times a year. So there's a spring, the fair, and then a fall show.
So to a novice redneck rally person,
Sure.
start from what is running at the redneck rally?
So
I've never
redneck
been
rally is front wheel drive cars.
front wheel drive, okay.
Then you have rear wheel drive trucks.
Like big trucks.
Like
Half-tons?
like whatever. It just has to be
Okay.
rear wheel drive.
Okay.
Outlaws, which is anything 4-wheel drive, whatever. Like we had guys
Run
bring
what you
mud
bring.
trucks.
Okay.
We had guys bring like tough trucks and stuff. It gets pretty heated. And then you have Hick Chicks, which is front wheel drive, female drivers.
Hopefully that gets a belt for winning that. That says
No,
Hick Chick on
huge. They have these. Chris gets these really cool custom trophies
it.
made.
Yeah.
And then you have side by sides, which is the class I go in.
Wow.
And then there's some other classes too, like go karts, ATVs, dirt bikes. Those usually run all a separate show on a different night.
Wow.
So there's a
Like
lot.
8 classes at this deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of classes. And driver's ed, those are 14 to 17-year-olds that drive a car with their parent in the passenger seat so they can help them, or no parent if they want. Normally a parent rides with them.
Really?
Yeah, so they can
It's
learn
like
how
a
to race.
2-person cruiser, but not.
Right.
The driver
not.
still runs the steering wheel and the brakes and everything, but there's
There's a parent
passenger.
like telling them like where to turn, how to hit the jumps and stuff. Again, driver's ed, so they're just learning.
Okay.
But it's pretty awesome. It's a
And
lot
you
of
were
fun.
in the side by side.
I was in the side by side class, so
Okay. And
the
what's
first
your ride?
So I have a 2017 Polaris RZR XP 1000
All right.
bone stock. I don't have the fancy Gilliman clutch, the fancy axles, the tune,
Okay.
anything. Bone.
So
absolute
people
bone
listening
stock.
that have a Razor could come do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we get the 4-seater ones. Mine's a 2-seater, but we've had 4-seater guys run. Really fun time.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, yeah, you want to win and you want to get a top 3 to get the payout, but it really is just having fun and learning, how those machines really handle and the absolute beating that they can take. I didn't break anything, which was
Including
great.
yourself.
Including myself.
That's number 1.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is the
you have,
machine not
you have to have a
breaking.
helmet.
Have to have a helmet and you have to wear your seatbelt.
No fire suit required.
No fire suit required.
Okay.
So
Got it. Not a 5-point harness. It doesn't have a 5-point harness.
no, mine's
Still
just got
seatbelt.
regular seatbelt. Yeah, yep. I wanted to do the 5-point harness.
Just to keep
belts.
you from bouncing around.
Yeah, mainly. Yeah.
So what happened in the race? I want to know about this.
So the heat race, there were 9 of us, and I started at the tail with my buddy in his 4-seater. And literally, there's a set of 4 humps that you have to go over first. And a buddy of mine ahead of me got completely sideways and barrel rolled. So I was smart and just shut my machine off. I'm like, yep, this is going to be a little bit. He tore.
Was he all
tore a
right?
lot. Yeah, he was fine.
Okay.
Him and his buddy both got out. They were fine.
There's 2 of them in there?
Yeah, there were 2 of them in there.
You could bring a buddy with you?
You can if you want, yeah. I think it was, yeah. So, and the best part is he has GoPro footage of the whole thing.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, that was the first
You could
lap.
consider that a passing zone then.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So he rolled, and then we got back going, and so it was my buddy who's one of our vendors at work, and myself. He had a 4-seater. I had my 2-seater. He's tuned his 4-seater. He's got all this stuff done to it.
Okay.
So him and I were basically. I mean, I was racing purely just against him because I wanted to beat him because I didn't want to get any crap from all the guys at work that the other guy beat
It's
me.
a pride thing.
Pride, very much pride. And I
right.
beat him. He ended up breaking an axle.
Agree.
I beat him though, so the heat race went okay, and then the feature went good, and then I got 4th in the feature. I started catching up to a guy in a turbo Honda Talon,
Okay.
so
All
I was
right.
happy.
So you're
I was
keeping pace.
I was keeping pace. I was
Good.
keeping pace. I didn't get lapped or anything.
Perfect.
So I mean, everyone was happy with me. They said I did a good job. I made sure on my last lap, there's this giant ramp on the front stretch, and I went really easy over this little tabletop and built some speed up. Like I went really wide. Instead of
Okay.
trying to pass the guy to get 3rd, I went really wide. And I went absolutely hammer down as hard as I could and hit that front stretch jump as hard as I could and got maximum air. And I kid you not, I could hear the crowd going, "Whoa!" So I thought that meant like oh no, like I must have overshot the ramp or something because I'm not really looking down. I'm trying to look more ahead of me. Those things are just so nose heavy that it starts going like this. I'm like, I think they're saying, oh no, like something bad's about to happen. No, perfect landing. So yeah, luckily it wasn't anything bad. We were worried that it was a bad
Nothing
thing.
broke anything. No
Yeah,
shocks
no,
broke.
nothing broke.
Good.
No, I
That's
mean it's
good.
got Fox Racing shocks on it,
Gotcha.
so
So like the Brickyard, it was kind of a game of attrition.
yes, just like the Brickyard. Good segue. Kyle Larson wins the Brickyard 400. We'll talk about that in just a second after this sponsor break.
All righty, thank you, Safe. And yeah, we do thank all of our sponsors for making our broadcast possible each and every Tuesday night for TNT. That includes Milo's Tree Service. Make sure you give them a call at 641-683-2627. We thank Sinclair Napa. Get more information at sinclairnapa.com. James Family Greenhouse and Produce in Sigourney, located at 701 East Jackson Street. We've got Christy Tarr, American Family Insurance. Email her at teentar@amfam.com. Sigourney Body Shop at 210 Clark Street in Sigourney. We've got Sigourney Motors. For sales and service, call 641-224-8056. And then Zeb at Sigourney Tree Care. Give him a holler at 641-622-2097. All of our fine sponsors on TNT, the Tuesday night tune-up. Again, we are live every Tuesday night from Smoky Row in Oskaloosa. Let's go back to the guys, Safe and Kyle, with tonight's show. Guys.
All right, time to talk about it tasting like oil, rubber, and victory. Kyle Larson in the
It's a good name.
Hendrick Cars, number 5, gets it done at Indianapolis.
Yep.
Finally, at the Brickyard 400.
Did you notice the paint scheme from that last week? What it was from?
Yeah, it was the throwback to the Indy car that he ran.
Well, it was supposed to be the Coke 600 paint scheme, but he didn't get to run it, so
That's
they brought
right,
it
yeah.
to Indy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool.
that
paint
was a
scheme.
good idea.
Yeah,
That was a good idea.
it was fast.
Arguably the second best NASCAR race this year because Iowa was definitely the first, I would
great
say.
race at Iowa.
So
yeah.
I would say this was the second best. And I actually wanted to watch this race, and I actually watched it because the other ones I really haven't watched because nothing's except Iowa. I watched Iowa.
Yeah,
of course, but
Iowa was good.
what a great race.
Yeah.
Back to kind of what NASCAR is all
Yeah.
about because fuel strategy was super
Yeah.
key on Sunday.
I wish they talk about the SMT data. So for that race, you really kind of have to understand what is going on out there. They're trying
Yeah.
to save fuel. Like they basically backed that race up from, they figured they were going to have 1 or 2 overtimes, and whatever that number was, they tried to figure out how much fuel they were going to need because the tires didn't make that big of a difference.
No.
They did, but not huge.
not
but
like the fuel.
Some of those, like I've been looking at some of the data that came back out because I'm that kind of nerd. But then that last run, there were guys that were shutting the engine off like a few hundred yards past coming out of the corner on the straightaways. And they'd shut it off all the way down the straightaway, and they wouldn't turn it back on until they got into the next corner.
Right.
To try to save that much fuel.
Yeah,
And
crazy.
everybody was doing it, so their lap times were totally wacky, right?
Right. Yeah, they were like cutting 2 seconds
Yeah.
slower. So I think the big point to talk about is everyone is still confused
On
on
the restart.
was the initial overstart right before the overtime.
When the
Restart.
first overtime when Keselowski ran out of gas.
Yeah, so
Okay,
there's
yeah.
some confusion there because what happened was they went into overtime.
Yep.
Brad
Brad.
Keselowski was the leader.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney, I don't think his guys told him the right thing.
He was.
Guess
Yeah, he didn't
coulda
know the
really
rules.
set himself up for something there,
Yeah.
but he didn't. So
Yeah.
he chose the outside of Keselowski.
Which his thought was there's no way Brad was going to hit the gas and go. So if he starts beside
Yeah.
him, Brad
Okay,
stumbles.
yep.
He's going to be
But
in
I
the
don't.
lead easily.
So what happened instead was Kyle goes behind Brad, thinking he's
gotta
going
have
to
the
run out of
inside.
gas, so he's
Yep.
gonna
got to have the inside.
he's gonna
Yep.
have to pull off. And what happened, if you really watch, because I don't think, and I'm shocked NASCAR, like Junior and them, didn't bring this up. If you go back and watch, Keselowski runs out, follows the pace car back in.
Basically, yeah.
Kyle goes up his row like he's supposed to.
That's what
He's
he's
next
supposed
to
to do. Yep.
Blaney.
Yep.
And out of nowhere comes Tyler Reddick and absolutely slams into the back of the 5.
Right.
I mean,
He timed it really good.
he hit him so hard in the rear that whole
Yeah.
car shot forward.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, no, Kyle didn't. I don't think they understood Blaney was supposed to take off first. And then the next overtime that they had,
Yeah.
because then they wrecked, of course.
They wrecked down into 1, yeah.
Then Kyle takes off perfect. So
he
I think
snookered Blaney on that one.
absolutely
Yeah.
snookered him.
Yeah.
But Kyle didn't didn't purposefully jump
No.
the first time. And a lot of people are mad saying, oh, Kyle cheated and he should have known that Blaney was supposed to start first. If you go back and watch, really do, and then you can comment on here. Reddick blatantly
Yeah, he gave him a good
slams.
push.
I mean, I'm sure the whole back bumper
Yeah. Yeah.
was in on the 5 car.
Well, Reddick knew too that his car and Blaney's car were pretty competitive, and if he had any chance of getting second, because
Yeah.
I listened to his interview with Larry McReynolds today, and he said he knew if he was going to get second at all, he had to clear Blaney getting into 1. So he took that risk to get him going. But
Exactly. He slammed into the
Yeah.
back of the 5.
some of the numbers are crazy because if they ran wide open like as fast as they could go like 42 laps on or 45 laps on fuel.
Yep.
And Keselowski was on lap 58.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
2.5
he way
miles,
pushed
you know,
he
that's-
pushed the limit.
And everybody knew he was going to run out, but his strategy call was actually great because if there wasn't an overtime,
He would have won.
he was top 3
Yeah.
easily. And because Larson
Well,
was
maybe he
chasing
would've
him down, but
well, yeah.
so then the second restart, because what happened, the line moved up. That was per NASCAR rule. But then, Ryan Blaney then becomes the control car, which I think he was.
He
but
was.
He just didn't get a push from whoever was behind him. I can't remember who lined up 4th. Maybe it was Bubba.
I think so.
It might have been Bubba Wallace. But whoever was behind him did not push him. He did not get going.
No,
And then
because everyone was saving fuel.
yeah, they all got
Well,
wadded up into turn
yeah.
1 at that point. Well, now Larson is the control car.
Right.
And right when he hit that line, boom,
Gone.
he was gone.
He
Because even
was.
Reddick wasn't ready.
No one
'Cause
was.
If you watch the onboard of Reddick, Larson got such a huge jump. Reddick couldn't even hit him the next time. He was gone. So
It was perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened there.
Yeah.
And then speaking of passing cars coming up
Yep.
through the field, we
Yep.
got to see the essence of Donnie Schatz
Yeah, like at
on
Eldora.
Saturday night, which
Yeah.
is just classic Donnie doing a classic Donnie thing,
Yeah.
starting 20th at Eldora.
Running the
which-
middle of the track.
And he got lucky. You know that. He got lucky
With what?
because he didn't come out of his heat race into the top 3. But since he was one of the 2 fastest cars in the qualifying group, he and
I guess I didn't.
the other
pay attention to
car, Parker Price,
that. Oh, PPM.
both got put into the
The feature.
feature.
Okay.
'Cause they would have
'Cause they
taken-
didn't transfer.
No, they didn't transfer.
Oh, I didn't know
Since
that.
they were the 2 fastest cars, they transferred in to the show.
Okay.
So Schatz really did get lucky because otherwise he would have been in the
might not
last
made it.
chance showdown and he might not have made it. So and that's the thing about,
The World of Outlaw rules.
no, it's just that race. It's
Oh,
just
it's just the King's Royal.
just the King's Royal. The format is so screwed up and so complicated, and you have to have a mathematician degree to figure it out that if you are quick time, but you don't make it out of your heat race into the A main, they take the 20 and 21st starting spot and give it to the 2 quick time drivers if they don't make it out.
I didn't realize that.
So you can get quick time, and you really could suck it up in your heat race.
Right,
you could
but-
not go out and run your heat race, and you're going to be in the feature. Now you're deep in the
Sure.
pack,
Yeah.
but
Passing
you're
there
locked.
so hard.
But you're locked into the feature. So, to me, that is one of the worst rules in racing. Right there is basically you get a freebie. Like if you don't want to
Kinda,
go out
yeah.
there, like if you know that like the track was rough. The bottom of the track was so bad that in the first corner of the feature,
Oh,
Parker
yeah.
Price Miller wrecked hard. I mean,
That
really
was bad.
hard.
It like swallowed
Yeah.
the whole car up.
Yeah, and then killed the car. And so, if you were like, man, I'm not going out in my heat race. It's either like really good or I start really bad. You could go out there, run a lap, pull in, have nothing happen to your car, and be like, yep, I'm in the feature. And I'm taking 2 spots from guys in the B main. So then there were only 4 spots up to grab in the B main.
The Nationals are kind of similar to that. They don't guarantee you the spot, but
No.
if you're quick time at Knoxville Nationals, even if you don't get out of your heat and you get like somewhere up towards the top, even of the B main, or if you just make it to the back of the A, you get so many points that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's
you know
a
what I
little
mean?
different.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's based
like,
off of
I see what
points.
you're saying with like locking in
But
the top
that's
two,
way
but-
worse.
Yeah, that's the
like-
Kings Royals.
That's
Yeah, I
the
didn't
most
realize that.
asinine thing.
But it was such a shots line too, because he was just rolling the middle of the track.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keeping
so
the
then,
tires
you know,
under it, and but David, he was quick all 4 nights there with the high limit stuff.
was. I
and
mean, he won a
both
lot. I
outlaw
mean,
shows.
and
We had
Selzy
$100
was
grand in the
fast.
Joker's jackpot.
Yeah.
he won $100 grand there, and then
So he
Eldora's what was the Kings
the
Royal
night
pay?
before. Oh, the King's Royal pays 175. So he took
Yeah.
275.
Right? Yeah, and it's a good time of year to be finding pace.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we're in the month of money.
Yeah,
and then the high limit guys are in Pennsylvania tonight for the Don Martin Memorial at Lawrence Speedway, Lawrenceburg. So that's probably a great race. You can go watch it live after this on Flow if you want to.
Yep.
So that'll be a good one. A lot of outlaw guys there.
One interesting thing, I always think it's kind of a funny phenomenon with late models and sprint cars, right? So,
Oh, okay.
like we can go back to whatever you want to talk about.
No. Now I want to know
All
what
right.
this phenom
So a
is.
little nugget for you. So,
Ooh,
like,
I like nuggets.
if you pay attention to like crowds and different things, we have the late model Knoxville Nationals, right?
Yep.
Think of what the Knoxville Nationals are and late models, but you put late models at Knoxville, you have a decent crowd, but nothing like sprint cars.
No, absolutely not.
You
It's
put-
called the Sprint Car Capital.
Right. And I feel like the same thing happened at Huset's this past weekend. They had 3 nights of late model racing, but you watched Flow, wasn't a ton of people in the stands for that deal.
I don't.
Same thing with 34
So here's the
Raceway,
thing.
right? You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
Like,
where
you put
Slocum-
you put like sprint cars at 34, and
But
like the late
here's-
model fans don't show
But
up
I
to
think
support
here's
it.
the thing. I feel like the late model community is more niche. There's not as if true late model fans are normally only like late model modified fans.
Yes.
Sprint car
Stuff with
fans,
doors.
yeah, sprint car fans are very
Just sprint cars.
yeah, but there's so much more. But even your regular dirt guys, a lot of them are sprint car fans, though,
Sure.
for different
I'm-
things. So
I'm
I
a
think
fan of all of it.
yeah, me too. I'm not saying that.
But did you think that at Huset's? Did you watch any of that?
Yeah.
The racing was
So,
really good, but
I just think-
not a lot of people there.
I don't think there are as many late model fans as sprint car fans because, I mean, I think this is the truth. I don't ever think late model racing had that backing the whole time that sprint car did. And I'm not saying there weren't ever like high payouts.
No.
I mean, you had Dirt Millions, you had all
Now
these
it's,
bigger
like, flipped,
races. And we've seen this. Yeah, well, we've seen that change. And I think a big part of it is the sponsor money. Like you have CarQuest sponsoring Donnie Shots, and you have some of these really big like brands and stuff that are backing these sprint car teams, and you don't necessarily see that as much on a late model.
Yeah.
I can't
You
say that
see
I've seen
some.
really like a CarQuest late model like some. You know,
Not like
I'm
back
just
in the
saying-
day they
No,
did,
I'm
no.
just saying that it seems like like Quaker State sponsored Steve Kenzer forever.
Oh,
Channel
forever,
Lock
yeah.
had Sammy
Yeah.
Swindell. Hooters had Sammy Swindell. You're talking about these huge brands that were sponsoring these cars. I feel like the limelight never necessarily came out to the late models. I mean,
No, there's
even
not
with the
much
World
TV.
Outlaw late models, they weren't on TNT for all the big stuff. I mean, they had like the late model nationals and a couple other things.
They had
but
like the Dream back in the day.
right. So it's a lot. It's just different because. But now you look at payouts,
Oh,
and
the
you
late
have
models
late
have-
model shows waxing payouts in
Oh, yeah.
the sprint car world. But that light still isn't there because I don't think they have the structure. I mean, like you have Case sponsoring
Sure.
Case Dirt Work sponsoring late model racing, and
That's for the World
you have
Outlaw,
NOS
right?
Energy Drink sponsoring the sprint car side of that. So you have a name brand, like a huge name brand sponsoring your sprint cars, and you have a dirt work company sponsoring your late models. So how many people are in the dirt work business and stuff? And how many people you go into the store and you see NOS energy drink, and then they have like the Sheldon poster, they have all the advertisement on TV. The world has always evolved around sprint car racing, and the money's always been there, and no one has really fully backed the late model side. And I would love to see some of that change, where we get some of these big guys to come over to that world, because I honestly think
there's
the
a
late
rumor
models,
that Ricky Thornton might be strapping into a sprint car. Did you see that?
yeah, with Indy race parts.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. I mean, but that's the thing, because they have that light, and then it's like, you look at what happens to a lot of these sprint car drivers, like Corey Day going ARCA racing this weekend and stuff like that. And it took Ricky Thornton to get fired from his seat.
Yeah, what a crazy deal that was.
And then literally just put a post out to Kenny Wallace, and Kenny's having to do all this work to get him into the
He's with
pavement
Jimmy Owens
side.
or whatever
Yeah,
now.
Now with Kohler Motorsports. But it took all that there, and you had Corey on the other end where it's just like sprint car and then pavement. But that's how it's been, is sprint car to pavement. So you've always had that big money backing, because these big money guys put their money in these drivers, and then they want them to go on to the asphalt stuff, and then they keep that sponsorship rolling. Where late model racing, it's they just stay with late model racing most of the time.
Right.
And I hope Ricky is that changing factor where it's like, you know what, these late model guys, they do want to go to asphalt. Maybe we should start looking into spreading the wealth a little more, because
Yeah,
that's what it's going to take.
There's so much money in that late model. I don't have a data on point on this, but looking at what RTJ had won in purse earnings before he got fired to what who's the points leader in World of Outlaws sprint cars? The Gravel leading it still?
Yeah.
It'd be, he just won 275, but I bet he's still several $100,000 behind Ricky, I bet. In purse earnings.
Yeah, because I mean,
like the
most
late
shows
models,
pay,
he won what, like 18 features, and they pay 10 to 30 grand every
yeah,
whack.
but World Outlaws, every race pays
Right.
10 grand.
That's what I mean. Like the Outlaws are what, 5 or 6? Is it?
No,
7.
10.
They're 10 now.
It's 10.
So yeah.
So yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
I think it'd be a lot closer, but
Anyway.
still, yeah. I mean,
I just wanted to see what
No,
you thought
yeah,
about that. Like,
I agree.
They're racing for all this
but
money,
again, it's
and
because
there's
of
like
the sponsor backing.
Right.
It's been.
I think it's
been like
regional
that.
too. Like you go down
is.
south, like in the southeast, late models are huge. Like if you don't,
Yeah,
like
well, sprint car race
and sprint car is big here in the Midwest, Indiana,
it's
Ohio,
big. Well, but you
know.
have the West Coast. It's big too. You have
West
Big
Coast,
Block,
California, yeah. And then you go to the Northeast, and it's a modifieds. Like the Northeast modifieds,
right? And you have some sprint car, but it's not as prevalent. I mean, you have like
Right.
Jackson and Husitz and some of those,
Yeah.
but. Anyway, I mean, yeah.
Anyway,
no, but
I didn't want to
think-
derail
right.
that, but I
no,
thought
I agree. I think that's where the issue is that whole understanding of you go sprint car, pavement, higher up pavement, and that sponsor stays with you through the whole.
right. Yeah,
progression.
Larson had no problem going from a sprint car to pavement.
No, absolutely none.
But he also didn't have any problem going from that back to a late model either.
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, that kid's it's kind of a one-off. I mean, well, I shouldn't say one-off, because Corey Day, I think, is going to be the next Kyle Larson.
He's pretty good.
And Kyle's even said that he's
Yeah.
better than him.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I mean, the kid's good. And then, but like, you see that though, like, David Gravel, he tried some truck stuff.
Yeah.
Brad Sweet tried NASCAR and truck. So if you really look and do some digging into a lot of these late model, or not late model, the World Outlaw sprint car guys, at some point there has been something with asphalt racing to a decent level. And again, I think that's just due to sponsors. That's how that game goes. So yeah, Limelight needs to come back to late model racing some. I would love to see that shift. I think Ricky's going to be the one to kind of lead that with the helping of Kenny Wallace. And that would be something awesome to see for sure. But yeah,
See where he lands.
We'll see what happens. Again, I would just it would be nice to see some changes there. We have a lot of things changing in racing in general.
Yeah.
And something that's changed in your world right now is changing of having apparel.
Yes.
Look at this,
this.
folks.
Middle Creek Motorsports.
Zoom in on that. I'm kidding. He can't zoom, but look at that. Oh, he can. Look at that.
Nice.
Fancy. And you can find that at the
Fresh.
Kyle Harwood trailer tomorrow night.
Yep.
What sizes all do you have, Kyle?
I have. Oh, I might not have your size.
Well, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about all the other fans in the stands.
Like XL, large, small, medium, and I have some youth sizes.
There you go. So find Kyle Martin.
yep.
How much are your shirts, Kyle?
$20.
$20. That is a bargain.
$20.
Right
Come
there.
down and get you a shirt. It's really been just a fun year because we have a lot of good friends and they all support me. If I could, I'd like to give them a shout because
Go
they've been
ahead,
with me
do
for
it. Give your friends a shout out.
Yeah,
Give your
so
sponsors a
all-
shout out.
all my good
He
friends-
forgot to last time.
Yeah. So on the shirt too, because Middle Creek Motorsports is the business we run the race program out of. We fabricate and build things at our shop. But when you look at the car, Vanderlinden Services, Katie and Austin own that out of Lighton. Yep. They do air conditioning, heating, plumbing. So if your air conditioner isn't working or something's wrong, give him a call. He always answers his phone. Super great guy. Honest with you. Come out and take care of your work. Black Oak Pumping, Brandon and Nathan. They weren't able to make it to the track because right now they're putting on fungicide on corn, spraying. They do custom manure hauling, pellet glass for shower doors, plexiglass. You break a window out of your skid loader, commercial doors, anything like that. Pellet glass. Dave and Ashley Voss are good friends of ours. Owner understands everything. You talk to him, he'd take care of you. We have NV2 Trucking. That's also Nathan Vandevort doing livestock hauling. And then we have Scott's Pest Control. Scott's a great friend of ours. Takes care of all pest and bug problems. It's a new business starting out in the area. He owns it. He runs it. You call, you talk on the phone. He'll come take care of you. And that he is so good at it. I'm so glad that we have that as a sponsor because we have no bugs at our house and happy wife, happy life for all of you. Right, honey?
Absolutely.
So if you've got annoying bugs like that. And then Arnold Motor Supply, Mid-State Machine, and Precision Performance also help us out too. John's been a great supporter of the track, builds a great engine. So shout out to those guys. And Andy Eckrich at Precision Performance, always a good guy to help make you turn left. So that's who helps us out. That's if we can pick up the track championship tomorrow, it's because of those people helping us out. Also, not only just with some sponsorship money, but also helping us out in the pits too.
Yeah.
Like we talked about the crew people. My dad helps out. Also our family, my uncle Robert comes and supports my grandma Mary. So I think Uncle Robert, I don't know how many miles he's put on that Malibu this year, but he doesn't miss a race. And so, hopefully you'll see some of these T-shirts up in the stands and pulling for the 15K. So that'll be good.
Absolutely. So it takes a lot of sponsors to make a race car go. It takes a lot of sponsors to make the show go. So Steve, why don't you tell us who helps make this show go, and we'll get we have another special guest in the audience, and we're going to bring him up here while you get going with these commercials. We'll bring Frank on up.
All righty. Thank you, Safe. And again, we do thank all of our sponsors here on Steve Shetler Media, including those that make Tuesday Night Tune-Up run. That includes Milo's Tree Service. Get a hold of Chris Minter at 641-683-2627. We thank Sinclair Napa, sinclairnapa.com. James Family Greenhouse and Produce at 701 East Jackson in Sigourney. We thank Christy Tarr at American Family Insurance, all your protection under one roof. We've got that trio of Sigourney Body Shop at 210 Clark Street. We've got Sigourney Motors, 641-224-8056, and Sigourney Tree Care, owned and operated by Zeb Webb. Those are our sponsors here on the Tuesday Night Tune-Up. You guys messed around with me. People aren't seeing this right now, but I got to adjust. Everybody needs to go around this way a little bit. Nope. Get in. Out this way. Safe more in the middle, and you come way in. Okay. All right. So we're going to get our guys here seated. Yeah, that looks good. And we'll bring it on camera there. Now we're good to go. Let's take it back to Safe and crew.
Hey, thank you.
We should have had another microphone up there.
You know what? It's okay. we kind of get to wing it here every once in a while, and this is definitely a wing it deal. And not normally do we get a guest that kind of is in the audience here. And if you want to do that, we do encourage a live audience. And one of our live audience members we miss is Neil. Yes. Neil, we miss you, buddy. Come on, come back, Neil. We really need you back here and making it a little more fun. But no, my friend here, his name is Frank Fontana. Frank is from the big city, the windy city of Chicago. So, Frank, thanks for coming all the way up from Chicago to be with us here. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, because this might be something for some race car owners out there or other farmers or other things like that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and what brought you here to be with us tonight?
Sure, most definitely. First, I want to say I'm really impressed with your knowledge of racing.
Oh no, that is so not true.
Oh
my gosh,
compared to mine, you look like an expert. So
we just wing it. It's a lot of guesswork.
Nobody.
We make it up. Yeah, no. I mean, Kyle's the master of making stuff up. You'd see working on his race car. It's like, take a turn. Yeah, it works. Yeah. Right?
Just move that bar. Just move that. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
But yeah, here I am, like Safe said, in from the Chicago area, and I appreciate you showing me around today. And really nice spending some time in southeastern Iowa. So, but yeah, I'm Frank, and I'm with the company Silver Tool Solutions. And we're bringing in a specialty patented new tool from Europe that's used for thread repair. So any kind of damaged thread. We have tools for wheel studs from passenger cars to heavy trucks. And then we have a full range of tools that work on any sort of thread repair for, again, heavy trucks. Could be used in racing, used in rail, any kind of transportation industries. And what the tool does is actually reforms material rather than removing any material. So it's a safer repair than some other solutions that are out there, like a thread file or a die. We don't remove any material. We keep the strength of your thread. And really excited to be working with you guys. And it's a interesting product. We forgot to actually bring a physical.
I know, that was your fault.
I was going to say, for every other Southeast Iowa person that's listening to this, they did show me a picture of it. What it looks like is a specialized pipe cutter that has dies on it that go on the stud, and then it follows the threads to fix
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So it's cold forming the material, how they manufacture threads. It's like thread rolling, and yeah.
So being from the Chicago area, NASCAR was there. Did you get to see any of that? Could you hear it from your house at all? That's what I'm curious about.
No, I kind of avoided that whole situation. I live about an hour from the city center, so didn't tried to kind of stay away from the crowds at that time. But yeah, that was exciting. That was interesting that they brought it into the city.
So our question for you is, Sue, have you ever been to a dirt track race?
I have been in Wisconsin, been to some, some of the, what are the ones where they have got the wings,
sprint cars.
Sprint cars.
Yeah,
I've been to some of those and demolition derbies and stuff like that, and
you're gonna need some thread repair after that.
You would
No, but not a dirt track racing. More, I've been never been to a NASCAR race, but some oval tracks and like Road America, F1 races.
Well, if we can talk into staying here another day, you might come with us to the Southern Iowa Speedway tomorrow night. It's a really good time.
You'll have to make a call to my wife, see if
you give me the phone and we will call her. Let's do it live on air. That would make it. No, that
things are taking a left turn.
But no, I wouldn't call that a left turn. We're going in for the slide job there.
Yeah.
We're going through the slide job of all slide jobs. So I don't know.
Sounds like it'd be fun to watch. You out there on the track though.
No. I tried dirt racing once and it did not go. According to plan.
Yeah, Kyle rode my Harley on a dirt track one time. So
really,
yes, yeah, it was.
You're nuts.
It was sort of a.
No way.
I forget what they called it, but it was called like the Iron Horse Classic, I think, and it's a dirt track in Byron, Illinois. And there was like a motorcycle ride that went out there, and then they let us ride on the dirt track, and
oh my,
it was a little bit hairy, Then I don't know if I'd do it again.
I don't think I could do.
I went slow.
The flat tracker stuff is unbelievable.
Those guys are nuts. They're gifted. They have to be to do
Yeah.
that and keep it. No. It gives me anxiety thinking about those guys.
Right.
But yeah, so you're up here from Chicago, and Kyle, I'm trying to get him like Iowa-ish.
Ooh.
Like
Did you give him take him to like a tenderloin place?
I did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I took him down to Ford's
Ford's
bar,
Tap or what? Yeah.
Ford's Bar and Grill
Sure.
down there in
Yeah.
Eddyville, and got him a hand-breaded
I had
Tenderloin.
tenderloin.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go to Goldie's tomorrow.
That's another tenderloin.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey,
that sounds
That's
good.
what
go
he-
pork.
he's,
Eat more pork. I'm telling you.
Yeah, eat more pork. Yeah, because from Chicago, they
Between
have
that and Bush Light, you've about got it covered.
literally that's Iowa in a nutshell. Dirt track racing, pork tenderloins, and Bush Light, and that's about it. So we can get you.
Casey's Pizza thrown in there.
Oh, yes. That is so true.
Yeah, we could go for a
Now,
slice.
from Chicago, is it Lou Malnati's, Portillo's? Like,
How do you know all this? What are you? Are you the Chicago expert
travel
too?
the country for
Are you kidding me?
By the way, all these people need to be official sponsors on Steve Shetler Media. So
That's easy to do. And if you're thinking about sponsoring, now's the time to do it because the ratio is extended and through the fall now, so we need more sponsors. Frank, send the check over, and anyone else, just send the check. So yeah, we always are looking for more sponsors on here. You can never have enough, especially to help Steve and I out and everyone else at Steve Shetler Media.
is this where you cue up the sad music and put a picture of a puppy in front of the screen?
I'll just put a photo of my very adorable son, and that'll take care of everything, Steve.
Cue Sarah right now.
Yeah, send the kids up. Yeah, but no, so we're trying to get him Iowa trained.
I don't know what else to tell him. We could play the Iowa fight song a few times, and
Yeah, too bad Iowa football isn't going on right now.
Oh, this is good. And to answer your question, Portillo's
yeah,
kind of more of a hot dog place.
yeah,
right?
oh yeah, with the shade with the Italian beef.
Yeah, an Italian beef.
But what's
right,
your
yeah, we
go-to
talked
deep
about-
dish pizza place in Chicago?
I like Giordano's.
Giordano's.
Yeah.
We have one in West Des Moines now.
Yeah, we
You
do.
go get you a Goose Island and some Giordano's. You have yourself a Chicago
it's
night.
just-
Okay,
it's
so
like
here's my
Chicago.
thing.
I feel like just like home.
He could take you there.
Everyone is going to be shocked what I'm about to say next.
I'm ready.
Absolutely floored. I am not crazy about the deep dish style pizza. Gasp! I was waiting for it.
I'm
No,
that
really,
I'm not
because
that surprised.
I've had people be like, "You don't like deep dish?" I'm like, "Well, it's not that I hate it. It's just Chicago has another pizza style too." Man, we're getting
They have
way off
tavern
topic.
also.
That's it. Yes, the
It's thin and
tavern
crispy.
style, the thin crispy, where they cut it into the squares, like Tasso's has
Right,
it.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you bet.
Pizza Hut has it right now.
Sure.
I'm sure it's not as good, but
You're definitely not as good.
yeah,
no.
no.
Well, like we
But
talked
I'm
about
more of
earlier,
a tavern
it's-
style pizza fan.
If I order a pizza, it's not. They don't always come as a deep dish.
No.
It's more of a.
It's an experience.
tourist
It's like a
thing,
casserole.
yeah. I mean, it's just too much. I mean,
If you're in Minnesota, it's a hot dish.
yeah, a hot dish. I mean, we're getting so far off a racing topic, but this is what the people want too. They want to hear other things. So, no, but so anyway,
Juicy Lucy.
yeah, Frank, we're gonna try. Jiminy Christmas.
That's at the
So,
Buffalo.
Frank, we're gonna try to get you to the Southern Iowa Speedway tomorrow
All
night,
right.
hopefully. We appreciate you coming on and talking a little bit about what you're doing and
Definitely.
why you're here in Iowa. So, we could definitely give you the real Iowa experience would be is if we could extend this through the weekend and goes to Knoxville.
Yeah.
Actually, you're just going to
Yeah.
come back for the Nationals.
Might-
That's
that would be better.
I will be back. That's for sure. It's a nice.
Well,
place to
really,
What do you say
I bet
about
if
the
people are
Nationals?
commenting, they'd be like, send him to the state fair.
Oh, yeah, the State Fair, too. That's during national time.
Yeah.
So much fried food on a stick that it'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
Back
Did
to
you?
the food
They
time.
had
And your heart, yeah. You will have,
your heart, yeah.
you will
Knock
have,
the bottom end out of that.
your arteries are guaranteed to get clogged at our State Fair. We do a butter cow where they sculpt a whole cow out of butter.
One of my daughters would probably never leave if she saw that. She'd be,
Yeah. Some of the list of food this year they released that. Does sound
Yeah, it's
somewhat
some of
entertaining.
it sounds good.
Yeah. Some of it's all right. I don't know. I think it's overdone a little bit.
Fried
bubble
fried
gum.
bubble gum. Why would you want that?
Because
That's
people will
new.
buy it.
They're running out of things to fry, so they're like,
Anything you can
bubblegum,
put in the
let's
fryer.
do it.
The people will buy
A
it.
fried Hoosier tire. That'll be the next thing.
I had one of those after last week on the right rear. It was fried.
You know, Hoosier compound is just not what it used to be. Those tires have gone so high in price, but yet so little quality.
Yeah,
And anyone
Forget
can
about
argue.
Hoosier as a sponsor now, I guess, huh?
No, not a good. I don't think they're going to send a check after what we
I don't
just.
think so. They
I don't really care. I mean,
we-
people can complain to me about that. I mean, I'll
they
go
still
for an
work all
argument
right.
on it.
Like, I mean, American racers have their downfalls too, but like the Hoosier, after you run it a while and you have it siped and grooved right, once you run it a couple races and you wear it out, it still looks like the tire, if that
Right.
makes sense. But like
And a
the
Hoosier
American
doesn't.
racer, no, I'm talking about the Hoosier.
Oh, sorry.
The
Yes.
American racer, even if you prep it and do everything, it feathers really bad if you get
Yeah,
hot. And
that's
then-
true. I can't
So,
argue that.
like, you have kind of the Hoosier does give up because I don't think it's quite as fast, but you can get a couple nights out of it. If they had the American racer, I think we'd be bolting on even more tires every night, if that makes sense. So you kind of have 6 one half dozen the other, I guess.
Okay, so I want to bring up something else going on in the racing world, and it'll be interesting to hear your opinion on this, being an outsider looking in.
Okay.
I tabled this a couple weeks ago with Chris Menega and Keaton Gordon, and it was hard to do, but we have a aficionado here, and we have
what?
so get ready. So NASCAR came out and said that they were looking more into the all electric. They had
Oh, yeah.
Newman
Yeah.
test it, and then they released the statement that really killed themselves.
What happened? I
They
saw the prototype.
said we are going to go electric because we take surveys at the tracks, and 60% of the fans that surveyed said they would be enticed to buy an electric car if NASCAR went all electric. How much of
probably
a
true.
BS call would
Who did
that
the
be?
survey?
No, I
the-
don't think
the-
that's crap at all. Like,
Really?
no. Like,
There's no way, because I went to the Iowa race and no one came up to me and
So-
said, "Hey, would you buy an electric car if NASCAR went all electric?"
So
I'm
you're-
going to call this out real quick.
No, you have to look at 2 data points though from the market that it's serving, because if the demographic that they're trying to get into by going out west and doing all that, the reason a lot of those people don't like NASCAR is they see it as very hurtful to, like, you know, we're running 700 horse, burning all these gallons of gas, but the electric cars are also not cool. So you have the entire NASCAR community that doesn't probably embrace electric technology because they want V8s and horsepower. But if you made a really cool, but it's not going to be all electric, it's going to be a hybrid. So it'll regen with the braking, and they'll have it charge the batteries that run the car. So you'll still have a gas engine in it, but like everything is going that direction.
I don't like it.
So I know you're not going to like it, but having a 1,600 horsepower NASCAR would be pretty sweet. And it's all-wheel drive.
But they aren't going to utilize that because then they'll reduce the speed.
But they also have to go to a crossover because they don't make 2-door cars anymore. So what are they going to run for cars?
They're
They don't
going
have
to
it.
run a Traverse.
They are. Like, they literally
the
are.
Traverse, the RAV4.
Now, the
It's going to
IndyCar...
become, instead of the NASCAR Cup Series, it'll be the Monster Truck Cup Series.
Now, the IndyCar hybrid is a bit of a joke. Like, it added 100 pounds to them and made the racing terrible because they did it wrong, in my opinion. Did you watch any of the Iowa races?
I watched enough where it was where I fell asleep.
That
3
regen
laps.
hybrid thing they did is just not great. But the inevitability of it, if you're going to keep NASCAR around, you have to change with the times. You just have to.
Not the answer I was really looking for. Let's go to Frank real quick. Frank, what do you think?
Hey.
As an outsider looking in on
It's a good question. It's a good question.
What do you-
I
what
see
do you
your
think?
point. I see your point. You know, I was just thinking as you were saying that though, like, what if you just broke that off into NASCAR, junior or something, right? But you keep NASCAR, right? I think people.
There we go.
I think
That's
people
better.
want the gas engine.
Yeah.
They want,
Here we go.
they're-
Yeah.
But there could be another, NASCAR electric or something.
Yeah, there we
right?
go.
That
They
will
can
think
run
of-
them in
they spin
Canada in
off,
their Canada
you know.
series.
Well, think of like even our cars. Trying to find a small block Chevy that is almost impossible anymore.
Oh
we're
yeah,
doing
but
the
that
Vortec
you
block.
can't add a battery and do a
Well,
hybrid
no.
in a
I
dirt
wouldn't.
car.
Now, I wouldn't do an electric, but my thing would be more LS based.
No, that's okay. I can
You
get
know
on
what I'm
board with
saying?
that. Yeah, we have the crate.
Yeah, crate.
Anyway. Anyway, that can be a topic for another day. So anyway, we want to thank everyone for coming and watching us tonight. I hope you got some entertainment out of this. I hope you learned a few things. Steve definitely has some entertainment going on over here, it looks like. By the way, he's giving me the look like, what happened tonight? No, again, we want to thank Frank for coming on with us from Silver Tools.
Thank you.
We want to thank Kyle for coming on as a co-host. We want to thank all of you wonderful viewers at home that are watching us after this is done. Get on Flow Racing. You can catch the High Limit Series with the Don Martin Memorial, and then come out tomorrow night to the Southern Iowa Speedway. Hot laps start at 7:15. Again, it's the Mahaska Season Championship tomorrow night, so we hope to see you all there. Then head over to Knoxville on Saturday. They have the Border Battles race. They have a ton of 360 and 410 sprint cars that are pre-registered as per their request. So make sure you head over there on Saturday night, and Friday night Columbus Junction Speedway runs. So some
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, that's
Thursday.
right. Fair race.
Battle at the Levee.
Yeah. Battle at the Levee Thursday. So great racing this week. Make sure you go to your local dirt track and support them and help them out. My name is Safe Grafke, and this has been TNT, the Tuesday Night Tune-Up.